Everyone knows Florida for its sunshine, turquoise blue beaches, and abundant wildlife. Come to think of it, Florida's kind of like the down under of America, full of beautiful things that could potentially eat you. But we're not focusing on that today. Today, I want to take you with me to Florida's interior. Besides stunning beaches, Florida is home to over 700 freshwater springs, crystal clear pools where water bubbles up from underground aquifers. These are magical places that stay around 72 degrees all year round, drawing all kinds of wildlife. In winter, even my spiritual homies, the manatees, gather here like snowbirds to the south. This summer, I visited one of the state's most iconic springs, Silver Springs, one of Florida's very first tourist attractions. It's tucked just outside of Ocala, which is in the heart of Central Florida. I didn't realize it before going, but this place is kind of the perfect microcosm of Florida's and even America's history. A land first inhabited by native peoples, later overtaken by colonial settlers, marked by segregation, shaped by capitalism, and more recently, reclaimed through conservation. It's pretty wild if you think about it, like how much history is packed into this small patch of land. We'll start with a look back at Silver Springs' fascinating past, then I'll take you along as we paddle through those glassy waters in a clear kayak, spotting wildlife just below the surface. And after that, we'll grab lunch at the park cafe and wander through the quieter side of the park before Florida's summer skies do what they do best and rain us out. So when you're ready, let's dive in. Humans have been drawn to this area for thousands of years, first by the native Timucua, then by Spanish explorers and missionaries. In the 1800s, tourists began arriving by steamboats. In the late 1870s, enterprising boatmen added glass to the bottom of rowboats, creating the world's first glass-bottom boat tours, launching a century of aquatic entertainment. Through the 1930s and 40s, Silver Springs was graced by Hollywood, serving as filming locations for Tarzan and Creature from the Black Lagoon. But its popularity masked deep inequities. Under Jim Crow laws, the main park was whites only. From 1949, Black families had their own Paradise Park across the river. It offered similar features such as glass-bottom boats, jungle cruises, and a petting zoo. It closed the year Silver Springs finally integrated in 1969. By the 1970s, rising competition from Orlando theme parks and environmental troubles like algae blooms from development runoff caused attendance and water clarity to plunge. The Florida Park Service eventually took over the springs, merging it with the adjacent state park land to form today's Silver Springs State Park. And with that transition, the park shifted from commercial entertainment to public resource, its stewardship now focused on conservation and sustainable tourism. You can learn so much more about the park and its history at the Visitor Center. We started our day on the water, running clear kayaks for a self-guided 1-hour tour. They do offer other tours, or you can opt to bring in your own kayak, which I'd totally do if I lived nearby. The tour itself was great. The 1-hour route follows the Fort King paddling trail and then turns around at the main Silver River. The guys that set you up will let you borrow the map so you don't get lost. The clear kayaks only come as 2-seaters and you have to be barefoot when you're in them. We had to convince my dad to come on this trip, but as soon as he was in the water, he ended up loving the experience. Considering we started pretty late in the morning, I was surprised by how much wildlife we saw. I was even more surprised that we didn't see any alligators, which must explain the abundance of turtles that were sunning themselves on logs like they had no cares in the world. No manatees either, but they usually pass through in the winter. The bird life, though, made up for it. Cranes, limpkins, and tons of aningas. We didn't spot many fish from the kayak, but once I dipped the GoPro in the water, they were definitely down there. I'm not sure I'm totally sold on clear kayaks. You can kind of see through them, but as you can see here, the view isn't perfectly transparent. Still, it's a cool experience if you've never tried it before. I'm really glad I brought the GoPro though, because it was able to catch so much of the underwater world that you couldn't see through the kayaks. There were fish hiding out, and turtles swimming around, and birds diving for food. Once we hit the main Silver River, we took a quick peek and turned back around since that's where our river trail ended. So after our hour was up, we headed back to shore. So teenager,
Yeah.
what did you think of the kayaking?
I think I don't need to do back for another 2 weeks.
You like it?
Yeah.
It's pretty. Would you do the 2-hour one?
No.
No, 1 hour is enough?
Yeah.
Okay. A short walk from the kayak spot is the main park area. This is where you'll find the visitor center, the kids discovery center, and the launch site for the glass bottom boats. The Discovery Center is a great place to take the kids. They have little exhibits for them to learn about the local ecology. There's also 2 cafes on site. There's the snack shop, which serves pizza and ice cream, but we went to the Springside Cafe because it had more food options. The food was fine. I got the Philly cheesesteak, which was probably the best pick at our table. The chicken gyro looked good, but I was told it needed a little bit more seasoning. Fueled up, we wandered through the rest of the park. Slow and easy, much like my fellow manatees drifting through the springs. We passed the boat docks and some quiet garden areas with shaded seating before popping into the gift shop. And just as I was plotting to make everyone do the nature trail loop, the storm clouds rolled in. Florida summers did what they do best, and within minutes it started raining. We called it a day, much to my family's relief, and made a soggy dash back to the car. I never realized how much depth Silver Springs holds. It's not just a pretty place, there's real history below the surface. The turquoise waters make you feel like you've left the US altogether, and between the wildlife, the moss-draped trees, and the way the light hits the water, it's real easy to fall in love with this place and keep wanting to return. If this is your first time coming to the Springs, I've got a few tips to help you plan your visit. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, the park is located in Ocala, Florida. There are 2 entrances, one for the state park and the other is for the Springs attraction area. Make sure you enter the Springs attraction one because we went in through the state park and then were redirected to go the other way, which is fine if you want to go camping, but the kayak launch, the visitor center, and the cafes are all at the other park. You can book the tours and the rentals when you get there, but you do run the risk of having to wait in a long line. So you can book them ahead of time online like we did, and then you get to skip and go through the short line. As you can see, they have the boat tours, guided tours, and self-guided tours here. And your rental fee includes the park entrance fee, so keep your receipt if you're planning on kayaking first before going to the main park area. And while we covered the cafes already, you can definitely bring your own lunch and have a picnic at the park. If you're coming in the summertime, you might want to go in the mornings versus the afternoons because that's when the shower storms tend to happen, and you run the risk of getting rained on like we did. And just a heads up, There's no swimming allowed. As you can see here, they have a few rules posted. No swimming, you have to stay 50 feet away from manatees by law, and no fishing or feeding the wildlife. These rules are all part of what help the springs stay pristine. All right, that's all I have for now. I hope you enjoy your trip. Let me know if you go, or if you have been and I've missed some really important information that would be good to share. Thanks for coming along. Until the next video, stay curious and keep exploring.